I've been meaning to talk about the Japanese education system for some time, um, but I realize that's quite a big topic, and there's so many videos and stuff online about the pros and cons of Japanese English teaching, and it gets a bit tiresome to talk about that. Instead, I wanted to talk about something that you don't see very often, which is talking about private education versus public education. Now, uh, this kind of came up because as I speak right now, it's Sunday morning, and my elder daughter is taking a test for a private high school. Now, uh, let me just kind of back up a little bit. In Japan, the statutory education system is up to age 15 or 16. I mean, people take the big tests when they're about 15. Right now, it's February. No, it's January. Um, and they take their tests in January and February. In January, you take tests for private schools. In February, you take tests for public schools or state schools. What's surprising to me is actually, I don't know if this is true for all of Japan, but certainly around here, the higher status schools are the state or public schools, the tax funded schools. The lower status schools, generally speaking, are the private schools. Now, that's a big generalization to make, but let me explain. It's kind of counterintuitive, but uh, because statutory education finishes at age 15 or so, what you're left with is some public high schools for 3 years from age 15 to 18 and private schools for the same age. And what that means is more people, well, it's economics, more people want to go to the public schools, at least around here. So therefore, it's harder to get in. So therefore, they have a higher academic standard. So you're in the bizarre situation where you have to take tests for for going forward. Um, but you don't know if you can get into the state school unless you choose a lower level state school. So it's all very complicated. But what it means is, in effect, is you take the private school exam as an insurance policy so that you have some place that you can get in and go to, and hope that that's the test that my daughter's taking now, and hope that next month she passes her the national tests or gets a high enough grade so that she'll be accepted in a good state high school. It's all very counterintuitive because the private school that she might get into is, has better facilities and, great library and, I guess native speaking English teachers and stuff and all this great stuff. But of course that costs, and that costs about I don't know, between $10,000 and $15,000 a year, and it's a 3-year school plus various other fees. And it could end up being about $20,000 a year that we have to pay. So we're hopeful that she can get into the state school, which is there are costs there because it's not statutory, as I say, but it's about 1/10 of the costs that you have to pay. Uh, so it's a bizarre situation. A lot of our neighbours, their kids are in private schools, um, and basically, to put it in a binary way, winners. There's winners and losers, if you believe that sort of thing. The winners get to choose their school because it's based on academic level. The losers have to pay to get into the school. Of course, that's the extreme example. There are actually, there's a spectrum there. But anyway, it's an unusual situation. So I just wanted to make that little point that it's not all that meets the eye. Private and public, paying money or not paying money. Status is a difficult thing.